your voice. When I in awesome wonder consider all the works I have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder that pounds throughout the universe display. Come on, church. This is my soul, my Savior God. Indeed, that says my soul, how great thou art, you Lord, in all the earth. I greet you with the blessings and graces from our Lord Jesus Christ, dear listener. Once again, I come your way to reflect with you as we celebrate the 22nd Sunday in Ordinary Time. The readings for today are taken from Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 7 to 9, Romans chapter 12, verse 1 to 2, and the Gospel reading from the Gospel of Matthew chapter 16, verse 21 to 27. For our reflection today, we'll take the theme, My Christian Shame, being transformed by the renewal of our minds. And our reflection basically is taken from the first reading of today, from Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 7 to 9. Especially from the verse 7, it says, O Lord, you have deceived me, and I was deceived. You are stronger than I, and you have prevailed. I have become a laughing stock of all the day. Everyone mock me. Everyone mock me. And that is what I want us to reflect upon today. Shame, my Christian shame. Per its definition, shame is a painful emotion resulting from an awareness of inadequacy or guilt. Again, shame is a state of dishonor, a feeling of guilt or disgrace that brings about loss of esteem or reputation. Synonymously, shame is a scandal, humiliation, ignominy, embarrassment. I believe that we've all, in one way or the other, have experienced this character of life, shame, before. None of us is exempted. Shame comes in various forms in our daily encounters with others, and also in our encounters with God. We hear Jeremiah in the first reading, Jeremiah 20 verse 7, saying that he has become a laughing stock of all the day, and that everyone mocks him. They mock him because he is a prophet of Yahweh. When we read Lamentations chapter 13 verse 14, we understand more of Jeremiah's affliction. It says, he pierced my kidneys with his arrows. In the verse 14 it says, I am a laughing stock to all my people. They mock me in song all day long. Even Job, in Job chapter 30 verse 9, it says, and now they mock me in song. I have become a byword among them. Shame, my dear brothers and sisters, runs through the scriptures. Even in Psalm 22 verse 7 says, all who see me mock me. They snare and shake their heads. And so in Jeremiah's affliction today in the first reading, Jeremiah acknowledged that yes, all people gaze at him and they mock him. They laugh at him. Let's look at types of shame. The psychotherapists identify 4 types of shame. We call it the shame paradigm. Are you hurting and broken? The first type of shame is the unrequited love. Everybody who has ever loved someone and been rejected or realized their love wasn't reciprocated knows how shaming and humiliating that can be. Loving someone and realizing that that person does not love you in return. The other type of shame is the unwarranted exposure. Unwanted exposure. Example, if you are called out for a mistake in public or humiliated by someone walking in on you naked. The third type of shame is disappointed expectation. When you set out to do something and you fail. It could be at work, such as not getting the promotion one wants, or something in your personal life, failing on a target that you have set yourself. The fourth type of shame is exclusion. When one is being left out. Sometimes one just wants to fit in a company of friends, and they feel like they belong. But it turns out that you are rejected. And this brings about this element of shame. My dear brothers and sisters, Jeremiah experiences all these in his phases as he becomes the prophet of Yahweh. For us, shame comes about by 5 main factors. Let's look at them. The first one is self-awareness. In order to experience shame, you must have self-awareness that others are making judgment. You are on the spotlight, and you are aware of a set of rules or social norms that determine whether your actions are right or wrong. For example, if you wear a suit to a social event where everyone else is casual, you feel like everyone is looking at you funny, wondering why you are such a geek. People are also more likely to wash their hands after using a restroom when an observer is present. Secondly, self-blame. Shame and guilt are emotions of self-blame. In the course of daily life, bad things inevitably happen. According to attribution theory, human beings are naturally drawn to search for casual explanations. Assessing the situation, you may blame our spouse or poor weather or many other reasons. But when we blame ourselves, we are most apt to feel shame and guilt. The third is standards. All of us, I believe, have beliefs about what is an acceptable standard concerning actions, thoughts, and feelings. In most neighborhoods, dog owners carry plastic bags when they walk their dogs. The violations of these standards produce shame. The fourth point is our personal traits. People high on the trait of public self-consciousness are likely to be shame-prone. On the other hand, there are individuals who are likely to blame others or attempt to avoid blaming themselves. Self-esteem is the fifth point. The trait is defined as a subjective attitude towards oneself. When a person thinks poorly of himself or herself, and when faced with negative events, they tend to blame themselves as a bad self. Moreover, frequent and repeated experiences of shame are apt to chip away at one's general level of self-esteem. The healthiest way, my dear brother and my sister, to cope is to own it and always shame to dissipate with time. Like all intense events, shame eventually fades and is replaced by other emotions. Shame does not last forever. If no standards have been violated, then one has no reason to worry about shame. We need also to avoid self-blame game. The more one can blame an external source, the more likely one will avoid feeling shame. We need to confess, my dear brother, my sister. In confession, we go to others and tell them, especially to the priest, to tell them about an event that has shamed us. Confession is associated with the conception of forgiveness and love. It serves as a way of dissolving shame through the act of redemption. As Christians, we also undergo various forms of shames. As Jeremiah speaks about, speaking about the Lord is at times in the eyes of people shameful. We feel ashamed to speak about the Jesus that we believe in. And that is especially what Jeremiah goes through, because the audience are laughing at him because he speaks about God. Secondly, our spiritual seduction by the Lord makes us act at times foolish in the eyes of the world. In actual sense, people see us as weird. Thirdly, purity of life. As Christians, people and friends mock us because of our moral standards. When one wants to preserve him or herself for the right time, for the right man or for the right woman, the friends will mock you. Will tell you that these days we don't have virgins. Fourthly, the message of the cross. As Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew today talks about the need for him to go to Jerusalem to carry his cross. The cross, we are told, is a shameful tool, but it is the only way and means to our salvation. Allowing ourselves, my dear brothers and sisters, as Jeremiah, to be seduced intimately into the love and the affection of the Lord is the only way for us. May the Lord bless us, and may his face shine upon us, that as we embrace Jesus, we may be aware of the shame that may come with it in the sight of friends. Amen.